Oh my goodness. Listen, it's official. Semifinal 1, the bloodbath of Eurovision 2018 is in the record books. It's done. Um, I'm going to try to break this into two separate clips for you because I just want to make sure that I cover what I want to cover. This clip is going to first be just my overall, impressions of the whole thing since this was the first semifinal I ever got to see live. And then I'm also going to talk about in this video those countries, who did not qualify out of semifinal 1. Just a few words about each of them. The second video is going to be those that did qualify for the grand final. So please watch them both, you guys. All right. So overall, I got to tell you guys, and this may sound cheesy, but I don't care. Watching this live for one of the first times in my life, I felt like I was a part of a family. And I mean you guys out there, because it was an experience that we were all sharing together, even if we've never met. You know, you've become my friends through this whole thing because you've accepted me and you've taken me into your Eurovision family. And I mean, I can't say thank you enough, and I can't tell you how much I love you and your support. I had goosebumps almost the entire time. Not kidding. It was like the longest time that I had goosebumps for an extended period of time. There was so much about this that just made me feel, like I was a part of something, and I mean a part of a family with all of you, and B, I could be with my brother again in a lot of ways because yes, I was watching this on my own, but I felt like I was watching it with him, and I felt like he would be so proud of what we've accomplished and what all of you accomplished. I have to say also, the audience in Portugal, I mean, you couldn't be any more incredible. Like, the support that you showed the artist, and I'm going to get into some of those specifics a little bit later, but you guys are amazing. And I know you already know that, but if you were in the crowd for semifinal 1 for this, thank you for going, and thank you for embracing, all of these acts, and for being excited, and for making me feel like I was there with you, because that's how I felt. The whole experience was it was otherworldly, and I'm not going to talk about or react to semifinal 2 yet because semifinal 2 hasn't happened. You'll see my predictions for that tomorrow, so don't start asking me about semifinal 2 because let's just talk about semifinal 1 for today, all right? I'm not going to talk about how I think these acts are going to do in the grand final. Let's wait. We have time for that. The first thing, actually, that I want to talk about, I just want to say a few words about some of the countries, well, no, all of the countries who did not end up qualifying for the grand final. This is one of the toughest semifinals. Like, I mean, I went back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And here's the thing, and it may sound cliche, but I really do believe that this is true. Last year, I didn't even see the semifinals last year, but the acts that did not make it to the grand final, I still went back and I listened to their music, I watched their performances, and I'm fans of most of them now. You have been able to reach an audience in the entire world, and that is, something that you can build a career on. So there's nothing to be disappointed about or to hang your head down about. But yeah, so a few words about each of the countries who didn't qualify. And I'm just going by the running order. Azerbaijan, I did not pick it in my first prediction video. I did pick it in my most recent prediction video because the production seemed so strong that I thought it would be able to carry through. And the production was solid. I do think going first hurt Azerbaijan a little bit, but I also felt like, the, she was Isol. She was flat for a lot of that performance. And listen, the people out there in Eurovision land apparently know when a singer is either flat or sharp, or singing exactly the right note, and it was confusing for me. She was just flat for a lot of that performance. The song is uplifting though, and it's powerful. Yeah, so that's Azerbaijan. Iceland, I sadly, I think we all knew going in that this wasn't going to qualify, but Ari has every reason to be proud. Iceland has every reason to be proud of him. That high note, he hit it, and he like hung on to it for a while, and that was impressive. I just came to love sort of his spirit, and he's such a sweet soul. And I wish him the best of luck. He's gonna have a big career regardless of this. Belgium. I picked you in my first prediction video, but then after the rehearsals, that you were not on my list, and here's why. Because it seemed like, and I said this, you can go back and watch it. Like Cynic just seemed kind of overwhelmed and lost on the stage. The pitch was still wobbly, right? Sometimes it was flat, sometimes it was sharp, sometimes she was hitting the right note, but it was just hard, and I didn't feel like the audience could really connect to it because it didn't have any of those moments, where people could just really connect, and I feel like all of that combined, hurt. And I knew there was going to be a shocker, and I called this one because I told you, just because Belgium is always qualified does not mean that they would qualify again, and I told you that I didn't think they would. And I hate to say that I was right, because this is not something to be proud of. And I think that Cynic has a music career ahead of her. I just don't know if Eurovision was the right place for her, because she seems like more of an indie sort of folk alternative artist, and kind of like Fiona Apple, Alanis Morissette. And I'm not sure that either one of those would have done well at Eurovision either. So I wish her, and I wish Belgium the absolute best. Belarus. In the first prediction video, I didn't pick it. In the second one, I did pick it to go through, even though I didn't want it to. But I just thought there was enough of the sort of cheesiness, and that the teenage girls would sort of swoon over him and choose him. But listen, the performance, he was still flat for almost the entire time. The special effects, they were not all that special live. And, so you didn't advance. But again, I wish him the best. Let's see. FYR Macedonia. Oh man, we have a pass, don't we? Now look, I'm not going to go back and tell you that I was right about all of these things, because that's not me. But I will tell you, I was concerned when I first heard the song, because it sounded like too many different styles of music for one 3-minute Eurovision contest song. The people from FYR Macedonia just hated on me and just kept saying, you're wrong, it's a mixtape, people will love it, they'll get it. All right, and you know what? I grew to like the song. I did. Then when I saw sort of the rehearsals, and I said this, it just looked kind of sloppy. Like there were people, they were stepping all in front of each other. They were, and honestly, what I think hurt them the most in this was that the camera angles were not right. And don't even start to blame Portugal for that, because that comes down to the delegation and to the artist to tell them what shots you want the cameras to take and how you want them to take them. And there were too many shots where it just, the shots were out of focus, they were not on the right person, it was kind of a hot mess. All right. So yeah, sorry. Croatia. Now this was one, vocally, I felt like she was one of the best. I didn't pick her in either one of my prediction videos to advance, but she's a great singer, and I hear that she's already a huge artist there, so perhaps this will just help her become even more global if that's what she wants to do. I wish her the best. Um, oh, Greece. Oh, man. My heart is broken, but I gotta tell you, I felt like we kept being promised these. It's gonna come together, right? There's stuff you haven't seen. We're adding this. We're doing that. And when you see it in the semifinal, it's just gonna be absolutely amazing. It's gonna blow your mind. And what ended up happening for me anyway, I felt a complete disconnect from not only Yana Terzi, but the song and the performance itself. All of those special effects that we were promised, I don't feel like I saw any of them. In addition to that, and I don't know if it was nerves or if she, has worn out her voice, but she was flat almost that entire performance, like almost the entire time. I just wish it just seemed we had a vision from the music video that was never fully realized in the performance. And that kind of breaks my heart because it was such a strong message in the video and so good that I wanted it to be that good on stage. I did. Um, After I saw that though, the performance, I was just kind of like, uh-oh, like this isn't good. Some things are not happening here. Like something is not right with this performance. And you guys can blame, whoever, and you can hate me for it. But at the end of the day, again, it comes down to the delegation and it comes down to the artist. And I will say, I also think it comes down to, how Panic Records treated people that were trying to review this. You kept potentially tens of thousands of people from being able to see it. And I had positive reactions to the video, but you kept taking it down and did it to a lot of people. And so, I don't think that helped you a lot. Note for Cyprus going in to the final, you might want to learn from that. Stop making your clips so hard for people to put on here. It doesn't help you in the end. It hurts you. I think that's partly what hurt Greece. Armenia. Okay, Savak just seemed tired, and his voice seemed worn out. He sounded hoarse. That part where he's supposed to hit the really high note, that's the same note as a guitar. He wasn't even close. Like he bailed out earlier on, and it was already one of those where he was gonna have to be just spot on every note to qualify, and he wasn't. And so unfortunately he didn't, but I wish him the best of luck. Switzerland, I loved it live. I'm not gonna lie, I thought it was good. Like I loved the flares. I hadn't seen that until this, but I told you guys earlier on I didn't pick it because I feel like there's something weird happening with Switzerland. Like Time Bell didn't make it through last year, and I felt like if people couldn't connect to that I just was not sure they could connect to this one. And I wish Switzerland the best, and I wish Zibs the best because it was a good song and they're talented. All right, so yeah, those were the acts that did not qualify for semifinal one. It was honestly still a privilege and a joy to watch each and every single one of you and your performances. It has been this whole time. For those people that are from those countries, I know that you're probably disappointed, but just know that they were able to perform in front of hundreds of millions of people all over the world. So their audience is huge now. They have a huge platform, and they can really have careers after this. And that's the ultimate goal, I think, for all of this, right? Some of the most successful Eurovision artists in history are not those that won or necessarily qualified for the grand final. All right, so that's that. Check back in just a minute for my reaction video about the acts that did qualify. Peace.